y'all, we got the truck buttoned up. I got it sitting on the ground. Got everything checked out. About ready to take it for a test drive. Last thing we got to do is I got to install the programmer from Calibrated Addiction. And I'm going to go through the instructions. It's got real easy, real simple instruction booklet comes with it. Just follow the steps. And once we get the programmer installed, and then it's going to be time to test drive it, see what this truck will do. Should be a blast. I can't wait. All right. Step 1. Install turn key to the run position. When you're running through the instructions on this, be prepared for probably 25 or 30 minutes worth of sitting there flashing. It's flashing the computer right now. It's doing a lot of dinging in the dash and making some racket. It's going through the different steps on what it's doing to reflash the ECM. Just got to be patient with it. Eventually it'll get done and on to the next step. Alright y'all, got the truck fired up, checked out under the hood, no leaks, everything looks good. The check engine light was still on it, but it was the old codes. My brother cleared the codes out, and everything looks good. The truck definitely sounds a lot better than it did. And it's dark outside right now, so tomorrow whenever we get off of work, take it for a test drive and show what it's doing, see what it sounds like, and maybe should talk my brother and give it a whole shot, see what it does out of the hole, see what it runs like. As tell, doesn't have any check engine lights on, so about ready to go for a test drive. Got everything hooked up. Hey! Rev it up. Is that all it has? I'm not really sure what that's supposed to. I really hope that's just out of the muffler. That takes rolling coal to a whole new meaning. Alright guys, just a recap on this Dodge. I did the EGR delete and the DPF delete. The reason it came in because wasn't running, lost all power, lost all boost pressure. And thought I found the problem, hoped I found the problem with just the EGR cooler when I saw that the exhaust port was loose on it. But it turns out the turbo is stuck. It's actually a variable vane turbo. It uses an actuator that moves a set of vanes inside the exhaust port, exhaust side of the turbo. runs for the exhaust brake and different things like that, changes the amount of area in the exhaust side of the turbo. And if they get stuck, all the carbon soot build up. This engine has a ton of soot build up on it. I'm hoping that the actuator is not broken or the turbo itself is not too bad off. I did some research and I found that there's a cleaning port on this turbo, and when I take it apart, I don't have the actual Mopar stuff to do it, but I'm going to take it off, see if I can spray some penetrating lubricant in there and try to bust it up, see if I can get the vanes moving, try it out. I've had several people tell me that that's a trick that they've done on the truck, on various trucks, to try to make it work. I'm going to try it out. If that don't work, then I might pull the turbo out, pull it apart, and make sure that the actuator is functioning or not. I don't have the computer capabilities right now to be able to do the calibration tests and all those things on this turbo. So if it gets to that point, I'm actually just going to take it into a shop and have them run the test, because I don't have the $5,000 computer to do that kind of work right now. So hopefully I can make this work. So we'll see. All right, guys. In this view, you can see the cleaning cord. It's the little plug right there by the oil pressure line and the coolant lines that run into the turbo. That's the plug you take loose, and it's supposed to be able to clean the backside of the actuator and the variable vanes to try to get them unstuck and get the turbo back working. I'm gonna try that and see what we got. All right, I got the actuator removed. I marked where the gear is. It was actually lined up pretty well on the lineup hole. I put a mark on the outside so I could try to get the gear back as close as I can. Hopefully be lucky and not have to have it calibrated. More than likely I will, but still trying to not have to. So I pulled the actuator off, and when it went to try to turn this gear, now this gear is supposed to be able to go, this outer edge is supposed to be able to go all the way up to here. And it swings back and forth, and when it swings, it moves a ring inside the exhaust side of the turbo. So when it moves, it's supposed to move, and you can hear it bottom out, and it's getting jammed inside. So I had to pull the turbo apart. Hopefully I can pull it apart and clean the soot and the carbon out of the turbo, and then put this piece back together, put the turbo back on, and hopefully have this thing back up and running. Hopefully there's not too much damage inside. It's just soot and carbon buildup. This truck has about 170,000 miles, and it had the EGR cooler and all on it the whole time, and it's got so much carbon buildup inside the engine, it's just unreal. So, well, go ahead and finish taking the turbo off and see what I can come up with. So now that we got the turbo taken apart, and I got to where I can move the gear. This gear moves this ring. As you can see, the actuator bolts on here. This is where the actuator bolts on at, and it's got a gear on the inside. And whenever the computer tells it, or the eject brakes, you put the exhaust brake on the truck, it'll move this and move these vanes to open or close the exhaust portion of the turbo, and close it off with the exhaust brake, or open it up for whatever purposes it needs. But as far as this goes here, you're supposed to be able to turn and move this fairly easy with very little resistance, and it's real sticky and gummed up, and it's still not moving the full range of motion. So I'm gonna try to take it apart and clean it up, see what I come up with on that. Still not 100% sure that the actuator is working, but I know that this part's bad, so we're going to clean it up and put it back together once I can get it moving, and stick it back together and hopefully get this truck back on the road. So stay tuned. Well, I finally got the truck finished. The truck's actually been running for about a week now. My brothers drove it every day back and forth to work. It runs a lot better, sounds a lot better. As just a recap, everybody knows that hasn't seen my earlier videos, we did a APS diesel performance EGR delete kit. We did a Flow Pro 4-inch exhaust to delete the DPF and the cat on it. It still has the muffler on it, but it still sounds really good. It runs good. We put a Calibrated Addictions programmer on it. It's a 120 horse street tune on it. The truck runs really well. My brother's really happy with the way it runs. I asked him a few times, just making sure it's running good because of all the things we've done to it. And every time I ask him, I get a grin and a giggle from him. So apparently he's really, really enjoying this truck. So I'm happy for him. I'm glad that we got the clutter taken away on the engine. It looks a lot better under the hood. One of the good things about the EGR delete kits and the DPF delete is you're getting rid of a lot of the emissions. Now, the guys that live in states that have emissions, you're not able to really do this kind of stuff, but where we live, they don't do emissions tests, so you don't have to really worry about it. But it does run better. You have less sensors, less problems, less things that can go wrong, and also the engine's able to run cleaner because it's not recirculating exhaust gas back into the intake system, putting all that soot and carbon back into your intake tract, back into the engine. It's running on fresh, clean intake air and making the horsepower, putting the exhaust out of the exhaust where it's supposed to be. So I'm really excited with it, really happy that it runs better. He's getting around 18 miles to the gallon, probably gonna get a little bit more. It's only been a week, so he hasn't even run a tank full of fuel out of it yet. So looking to get more fuel mileage out of it. He definitely says he has a whole lot more passing power running. He doesn't have to use nearly as much throttle on it to keep up with traffic or take off or anything. So I'm excited to take the trailer up to it and see what this thing will do for the trailer. Should be a lot of fun. And if you're looking to do something like this, you're looking to put any kind of diesel performance on this, give Austin at APS Diesel Performance a call. I'll leave his number in the description below. He's a good guy. He took care of me. Even when I had problems with the turbo, it was nice, easy to talk to, and helped me figure things out. Made sure we got the turbo done on it. So I'm really excited and really shout out to you, Austin. You've done a real good job. I like that. We'll be contacting you more when we want to do some more upgrades to this truck. So really like it. Anybody else, give him a call and he'll take care of you. Really good guy. But as far as the truck goes, it's really been nice. It was fun to test drive. Runs really strong. Happy with it.